Welcome to the book of Mark. We will be going through this short book, the shortest gospel, and having a good idea of the happenings to Jesus through the eyes of John Mark, who was a young man at the crucifixion of Christ, which it reiterates later here at the end of the book, who fled naked, and his name is mentioned many times in the book of Acts. We'll do a short introduction seminar separate on that. You might look for that here. And we'll begin now in the very first verse. It begins, Archi to Evangeliu Iesu Christu. The beginning of the good news of Jesus Christ. There's a lot in this one verse, not partial of the part of the verse. In the beginning, this archi also is the first verse in Genesis, in the beginning, and also in John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word. And it's an interesting word to study. Number 746, you can go to the lexical concordance and go through it, all of its usage, and learn a lot on this word archi. And the Evangeliu, the good news. Ev, as we mentioned before, is good. Whenever this Ev appears, epsilon, epsilon. And then mentioned the alpha, gamma, gamma has to do with an announcement. And this here is a good announcement of Jesus Christ, or the good news of Jesus Christ. Iu to Theou, Son of God. Theology comes from the Theou. So it's the good news, the beginning of the good news. Verse 2, Os gegrapte in tis prophetes, as it has been written in the prophets. We went through many of the smaller prophets. Those seminars aren't on YouTube. You can find them on our website, apostolicbible.com. As it has been written, gegrapte, graph, derivative. And prophetes is a direct transliteration into English. Idou, behold, ego apostolo ton angelon mu pro prosopou su. And here it is a quotation from the Old Testament. Behold, I send my messenger. Apostolo is we get the word apostle, one sent. My messenger, and there's the angelon, here it was good news, evangeliu, and here it's a messenger. It could be an angel, but he's talking about John, so I wouldn't use the word angel here. My messenger before your face. Os kata skevasi tin odon su emproslen su, who shall carefully prepare your way, the odon. We have the word way. The odometer is a derivative. The way is a word that was coined for the early Christians, and you can see this if you look up number 3598 and go into Acts and later and through the epistles, and you'll see where the early Christians were called of the way. And so he's going to carefully prepare your way. Of course, this is Christ. Empros, and before you. Verse 3, phoni vontos enti erimo, a voice, phone, phoni, a phone is a derivative. Yelling in the wilderness, erimo, hermit, is a derivative. Timasate tin odon kyriou, prepare the way of the Lord. Ephthias piite tas trivu savtu, make straight his roads. We had the way, and now here is a road, trivus. Make him straight. Although later, of course, it talks about the straight, narrow is the way, and leads to, or straight is the way, and broad it leads to destruction. But this is a different way here, is preparing his roads to accomplish what the Messiah is to accomplish. Ageneto Ioannis, verse 4, Vaptizon enti erimo. John came baptizing in the wilderness. Vaptizon, the verb, baptize. is an English derivative, a transliteration into English. The same letters, more or less, turned into our English word letters, a B and a, so forth. Ke kirison baptisma metanias is aphesin amartion, and proclaiming, kerygma is a word that comes from this. They teach that in the preaching in seminaries. And proclaiming a or an immersion. Now, I used the word immersion for wherever baptize is used, up here immersing in the wilderness, although I didn't call him John the Immerser. I did call him John the Baptist, but every place else, an immersion. And we'll see a little bit more about this immersion later in this chapter, and of repentance for a release of sins. Verse 5. Ke exaporeveto pros avton passa Iudea hora, and went forth to him all the region of Judea. Ke Ierusalimite, and the ones of Jerusalem. Ke evaptizonto Pontus into Iordani potamo, and all were immersed in the Jordan River. Potamo, we have the Potomac River in Washington, D.C. It really means river. Ipaptu, by him. Exomologumeni tas amartias avton, acknowledging their sins. So the people were all coming from all over the area to this man that they heard that's next to the Jordan River, and they were being immersed in their confessing, acknowledging their sins. This area, go to the map, the Jordan River here, it goes all the way down, and it doesn't say exactly where it was. Probably up further north, because close to this he's in Capernaum. Judea, though, is down here, so the people from Judea came. If it was in Judea, probably wouldn't have said they came from Judea, because it would have been that's where they were. So possibly they were up here and further up in Galilee, which it may even say that here. In verse 6 continues, in the Ioannis and the Dimenos, Trikas Kamilu, and John was clothed with hair of a camel. Trikas, trichinosis is a condition of the hair, scalp, and a Kamilu, here's another transliteration into English, Kamilu to camel. So he was clothed with some type of camel hair skin. Ke zonin, thermatinin, peri tin osfin avtu, and a belt, zone. We have around the earth, the equator, the different zones, a belt. Dermatinin, dermatology has to do with skin. Those are derivatives, so many of them in the New Testament. Our book, English Derivatives, goes through all these, and you can look them up and find out more information on them all. So he had a belt made of skin, peri, around his loin. Ke estheon akridas, ke meli, agrion, and eating locusts and wild honey. Acridae is either the phylum or the class of locusts in Latin, in classification of plants and animals. And meli, the word melissa, meli, shard is a name, means honey. And agrion, agriculture, and wild honey. So he's eating these locusts, which sounds horrible. Some people try to make it something other than a locust, that it's a locust bread, a type of bread or something. But actually, the locusts are fried and eaten, and I've talked to people and said they're actually very good, sort of like Fritos, I guess, and probably better for us. And this is what he ate, and probably fried them up. He had some wild honey along with it, and this is what he lived on.